Just hand it to them.
Call the meeting to order for the December 12th, 2017 session. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
The record will reflect that all members of council are present.
Public comments on agenda and non-agenda items, please come forward. Evening.
Good evening. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you for having us here tonight and taking the time to listen to our concerns. My name's Ronnie Weinstein. I live at 505 Evening Star Lane in Dover Shores. I am the owner of Newport Beach Mediation, and I am a president of the Dover Shores Homeowners Association, as well as a founding member of Citizens Against Airport Noise and Pollution, a group that we have just started. We are a extremely powerful group of influential people that represent thousands of members of the Newport Beach community that we have assembled, okay? And very important for us to address you tonight prior to going into your closed session where you'll be talking about what I assume are the legal issues pertaining to the mediation that you had with the FAA. And our number one concern is that you, the council, are fully informed and educated. I've been working on this with Mr. Kiff for probably 3 years now. Mr. Herdman has made a gallant effort coming into the game, but he's only been involved for 10 months, I want to say. And he's getting a crash course on what's transpired over the last few years. And it's extremely critical. And what we're asking for, and our goal of being here and addressing you, is to hopefully get an audience with the majority of you so we can sit down at a round table and you can understand the concerns of the citizen and what we believe are your legal rights and things that we can accomplish as a team, working together, the community and the council, to accomplish what we believe you should be accomplishing in your negotiations with the FAA. There are extremely critical issues, like I stated, that are not being addressed in mediation that should be addressed. We are talking about the health and well-being and the quality of life of the entire city of Newport Beach. And we feel we have a tremendous amount to offer. And again, we are assembled to take this to the next level. And we've been involved with the county, the city, council member Herdman, city manager Kiff, and we want to be involved. I was involved, just a little bit of background on myself. I was involved with the negotiations at the outset prior to the lawsuit being formulated with the FAA, with very, very powerful members of the FAA. And they were willing to come to the table and negotiate and discuss all of this prior to any litigation being filed. And then we the city, I'll put myself in your shoes, made a decision to take legal action. And I'm not going to say it was right or wrong, but what I am telling you is the FAA was and possibly is still extremely willing to come to the table to negotiate a fair arrangement that of issues and items that are very, very obtainable. And there's my beeper, so I guess I'll stop. Thank you. Thank you for having us tonight.
David Weinstein, thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, good evening. My name is Marcia Kendall. I live at 1441 Santa Barbara Drive, and I'm part of this group as well. And the point, I'm segueing right off of what Ronnie just said, and the point I wanted to make is that the success, and you've probably heard this, of the Phoenix and the Point Loma lawsuits has shown that the courts are requiring the FAA to listen to the citizens affected by NextGen. And we understand that these cities have different circumstances than we do. However, the result of their lawsuit is that the FAA is now required to communicate with those affected by those decisions. And through negotiations, changes were made. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kendall. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name's Anita Brown. I live at 4 Crooked Stick Drive in Winford Road. I also am a part of this group. I'm in this group for a lot of reasons. One, we can hear the noise over there very strongly, and I have a daughter that lives in the Bluffs. The point I want to make is several people have noticed today and Monday that the airplanes are flying higher and there's less noise. And we are wondering why. You know, they say they can't do this, they've been flying low, and this is how they have to do. And we are suspecting that that is because we put these temporary noise monitors, which will only do us good while they're there. But the airlines somehow have gotten word that we are acting. We've got these noise monitors here. You guys, I understand, are considering what's going on in the mediation, and all of a sudden we're seeing higher flights. Why is that? But what I want to say is it can be done. They act fast when they know they're in trouble, and I don't think we should just give in and get the weakest results from this lawsuit. We have strength in the lawsuit, and as soon as it goes away, we don't have any strength. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Next speaker, please.
Good evening. My name is Julie Johnson, and I live in Irvine Terrace, and I have twin 13-year-olds that go to CDM Middle School directly under the flight paths every day. I'm part of this group as well. As a mother, there are thousands of mothers and parents that are concerned about the health of their children. And this is an environmental lawsuit, and the fact is it's environmentally affecting our citizens, and we need you guys to help us to fight this. We do not want to have you settle without getting the flights up higher, and higher altitude means less pollution. We're already funneling down one corridor, and it's like a 405 freeway in the sky here. We need you to not settle, to have the FAA negotiate with us for a better chance at our quality of life. This affects all your citizens. You may not live under the affected areas right now, but it's unbelievable. If the city had to have a trailer out and try and do their work every day under this pathway, it would be pulling their hair out. It's just not acceptable, and you just cannot let this happen to our great city. I have our mission statement here, which defines what we think is, through working with pilots and aviation consultants as well, we have put together ideas that will in fact make a difference, and they're doable. And the FAA has, as we've said, worked with other cities like Phoenix to hear their residents, and we just want a voice so that we can make this happen. And we're hoping that you don't let us down and our kids. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Next speaker, please. Any other speakers? Okay, seeing none. Mr. Kiff, would you mind addressing the sudden change in altitude, if you're aware?
I was out looking at planes this morning. To me, they were quieter, but there's no way they know when and where we're doing noise monitoring. So, but it's an interesting concept, but I can't attribute a cause to it. So we're still looking at that.
Does it have anything to do with the changes they made effective December 7?
I don't know how that would affect altitude, but I clearly did see in my observations from East Bluff. I hang out at Vista Esperanza. The planes that used to be closer to me at Vista Esperanza are now further away from me towards the west side. So they did effectively make that change of the FIN's departure pattern.
Thank you, Mr. Herdman.
There is an aggressive letter writing campaign that's currently going on in the city to all the major air carriers that fly out of John Wayne Airport. And I'd like to, we've already heard back from two of the CEOs of two airlines. I'd like to think that the letter writing campaign might be having a positive effect.
Thank you, Mr. Herdman. Any other comments? In response to this, your voice, I believe, is best suited to add to the choir of the city and to work with us. We are allocating resources that most individuals do not have, but we have collectively on behalf of the city. So please coordinate with our staff to continue to work with airlines directly and to raise awareness for the campaign. I'm a believer that the residents have the ability to join the city. in this fight. The FAA litigation that currently is being discussed, I won't comment on too much now, but unfortunately it is not a fix-all, and I don't believe it should be treated as such. But we can explore this further as it all unfolds. Thank you. Closed session, Mr. Harp.
Thank you, Mayor Muldoon. The City Council will adjourn to closed session to discuss item 3A, including meeting with legal counsel regarding the case entitled City of Newport Beach versus United States Federal Aviation Administration. Thank you.
Thank you. We are recessed until the 9:30 regular meeting. 6:30, excuse me.
Hold on, Mayor. Mayor, let me turn it on.
Call the meeting to order for the December 12, 2017 regular meeting. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
The record will reflect that all council members are present.
Mr. Harp, is there a closed session report?
Thank you, Mayor Muldoon. There is no closed session report this evening.
Please stand for invocation to be led by Councilman Piotr.
You'll join me in prayer. God, we thank you that we live in a country where there's a peaceable transfer of power, and tonight we get to celebrate transfer of the gavel from the mayor to a new mayor, and it's something that frankly only happens in free countries. God, we thank you for the way that you've blessed us, blessed our country, blessed our city. We ask that you would continue to give us your blessings. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Please face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Councilmember O'Neill.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The city provides a yellow sign-in card to assist in the preparation of the minutes. The completion of the card is not required in order to address the city council. If the optional sign-in card has been completed, it should be placed in the box provided at the podium. The City Council of Newport Beach welcomes and encourages community participation. Public comments are generally limited to 3 minutes per person to allow everyone to speak. Written comments are encouraged as well. The City Council has a discretion to extend or shorten the time limit on agenda or non-agenda items. As a courtesy, please turn cell phones off or set them in the silent mode.
Thank you. City Council announcements, non-discussion items, and new items council members would like to be introduced for future agendas. Mr. O'Neill.
Sure, I'll just highlight a couple. Newport Coast had Newport Coast Community Center had a Day with Santa, which was fantastic. We also, Councilwoman Dixon and I were able to help judge the YMCA Youth in Government event last week. And that, honestly, doing events like that provide an enormous amount of hope in the future because you get to see some phenomenal people this time from Newport Harbor High School and Sage Hill. And then Friday night, or actually, let's see, tomorrow night, we've got the boat parade opening. Someone's probably going to mention that with pictures, but I'll mention it. And then the Friday night, we've got a family event also at Marina Park, also for boat parade. So I hope to see you there.
Thank you. Mr. Piotr. Mrs. Dixon.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I have a few announcements, mainly to acknowledge your taxpayer dollars at work. First, I think there's going to be a slide up on tomorrow. We are going to be dedicating the Central Avenue Pier in Lido Marina Village. And the new mayor, whoever he may be, will be presiding over the dedication ceremonies. The Central Avenue Pier is long-awaited, much-needed amenity, long-time-awaited pier and harbor amenity, visitor serving to enhance visitor access to Lido Marina Village. And I encourage you all to ride your electric boat to the pier and enjoy all the nice dining and retail that we have in Lido Marina Village. So tomorrow is the dedication at noon, and Public Works will be leading that event tomorrow. But the public is welcome, and anyone who is listening and lives on the peninsula or anywhere in the city certainly is welcome to come. Today, the next item doesn't look like today, but that flooding of Island Avenue is a recurring event that the residents of Island Avenue, if you'll go back to look at the flooding that does occur on a regular basis because the seawall needed to be maintained and raised to a higher height. And so I was there today, which is the next slide. where we, Bob Stein and I from Public Works, dedicated in an unofficial neighborhood type event. The neighbors, the residents of Island Avenue have been actively lobbying and asking the city to repair and maintain the seawall because of the overflowing the flooding on king tide days and heavy rainfalls, that their street would be flooded. They are very pleased that Public Works staff and the city has included the Island Avenue seawall is the first of what we appropriated for in the current year operating budget, capital budget, for seawall maintenance and repair. And this was on the first of the list, long awaited, and the rest will happen. Seawall maintenance projects will happen on Balboa Island. This was the only one off Balboa Island, and we're very pleased. So thank you, Public Works staff, wherever you may be out here. We are residents of the Peninsula and Island Avenue are very grateful. And thanks to Craig and Nancy Smith and Mitzi and Howard Wells. They have long lobbied for this, and we're passionate residents saying save our homes. So we're very pleased. And then the last announcement, very pleased to acknowledge and recognize and celebrate our own library. Once again, the Newport Beach Public Library has received from the Library Journal the Star Library for 2017. Congratulations, our library staff and all of our support citizens who work to make our library the great institution that it is. And the city's library was recognized for the number of library visits, annual visits, which is over 1.5 million per year, which is really extraordinary in a city our size. The electronic or e-books that are available we were recognized for that. Program attendance, the programming, and the public internet computer use. So congratulations, Mr. Heatherton and our Library Foundation and Friends of the Library and library staff and foundation staff for truly all coming together to make our city proud of our library system. And I think that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Herdman.
Councilwoman Dixon and Mayor Pro Tem Duffield and I attended the Municipal Operations Department holiday luncheon last week. It was a really nice event. But George Murdoch, our director, was a recognition of him and his pending retirement, which is coming up real soon. And just an outstanding event in terms of commending and recognizing him for his 35 plus years service to the city. And I know I will speak on behalf of all of us up here, George. We thank you. And you're truly leaving a legacy here in the city. And we wish you well in your retirement. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Avery.
None.
Mayor Pro Tem Duffield.
I have none.
At this time, I have a couple announcements. The City Clerk's office is still accepting new and unwrapped toys for children of our troops, new or used DVDs for the troops, and gift cards and cash donations for the families through Yellow Ribbon Campaign's Operation Christmas. If you'd like to participate, please stop by. Please drop off your donations to the City Clerk's office or Oasis Senior Center by noon on December 22nd. There are a couple individuals we'd like to recognize this evening, one of which is a local businessman and personal friend, Mario Marovic. Mario, are you present? Please come forward. Many of my colleagues had the pleasure of attending Mario's excellent grand opening of a new restaurant in a neighboring town, which I will not speak of, but it might as well be in Newport Beach, and the restaurant is called Country Club. And so I know a couple colleagues and I wanted to recognize Mario for all he's doing for our community with redevelopment and investments. And then after I read the proclamation, you can say a couple words if you like.
Right, thank you.
Whereas Mario Marovic dedicates his time and resources into improving the city of Newport Beach. And whereas Mario Marovic's investments in the historical McFadden Square area include the revitalization of multiple properties, and successful operation of new businesses. And whereas Mario's founding of the Newport Beach Bar and Tavern Association has greatly assisted in his efforts to advance communication between the City of Newport Beach Police Department and fellow restaurateurs. And whereas the City of Newport Beach is a prosperous, safe, and welcoming community to its residents and visitors, in large part due to property owners and business operators alike, Mario Moravec. Now, therefore, I, Kevin Muldoon, Mayor of the City of Newport Beach, on behalf of the entire Newport Beach City Council, do hereby recognize Mario Moravec. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just want to say that I'm very thankful. I'm not just thankful for where I live, I'm not just thankful for what I do, but I'm thankful for the leadership that the city of Newport Beach has. I'm thankful for a safe place to raise my kids. We live in Newport Beach, we work here, we raise our kids here, and we're very proud to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mario. While you and I take pictures, if any of the colleagues would like to say something about Mario and all the positive impacts had on our community, feel free.
Congratulations, Mario, and thank you for your continued investment in our community and on the Balboa Peninsula in my district. Thank you. Congratulations.
I would agree with all of that. You do an awesome job. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead and take pictures. I'll keep talking. One of the really cool things that Mario's been able to do is take a lot of the historical sites that are written about, especially in books like Nancy Gardner and her dad's book about the history of Newport Beach. Take a lot of that history, and you can walk right into it with, especially something like the Stag Bar and Dory Deli down in that square right there. It's just phenomenal to be able to see all of the upkeep in the historical condition that Mario's kept it. So thank you for that, Mario.
Thank you. And the next presentation to give is to acknowledge someone who has the utmost respect of this council and his peers up and down the state, and in a very different world, the water world, which is not something many of us travel in, but we rely on it every day. So, Mr. George Murdoch, would you please come forward? I'll read the proclamation, and then if you'd like to say anything to address your colleagues or the council, we'd love to hear from you. Whereas George Murdoch began his career working for the Boy Scouts of America, the U.S. Forest Service as a cook and a maintenance worker before he came to the city of Newport Beach. And whereas George was hired as a refuse crewman for the city in 1980, the year after I was born, he became acting... it does not say that, Mr. Herdman. He became acting refuse leadman in November 1984 and was promoted to refuse leadman in January 1984. And whereas in 1984, George continued to work his way up the utility ladder when he was promoted to utilities service worker, then promoted to utilities director in January 2009, and finally promoted to municipal operations director on July 11, 2015. And whereas over the years, George has dealt with many things, from assisting in the development of the SC-ADA system and dealing with water overflows to birds on poles and raccoons in sewers. No matter what the problem, George found a solution and always came to the rescue. And whereas George will complete his 37 years of service with the city of Newport Beach on December 29, 2017, and will be greatly missed by staff, council, and the residents served by city water. His 3+ decades of hard work, dedication, and contributions have added to making the city a wonderful place to work, play, and live. Now, therefore, I, Kevin Muldoon, Mayor of the City of Newport Beach, on behalf of the entire Newport Beach City Council, do hereby proclaim that George Murdoch served honorably and will always be recognized for his 37 years of dedicated service to the city.
Well, thank you, the mayor, members of the council. It's been a really nice journey the last 30-some years. It's a little bit, almost 38 years, but it's been fun working here. I've enjoyed every bit of it. the whole time. I've met and worked with some really wonderful people, several councils, several city managers, and several other folks. But it's been just a great journey the whole time. I tried to give you 110%. I hope you feel I did. And some of the folks, if you're listening at home or you're in the audience, I hope you know that city employees don't forget that they work for them. And I'm confident that the excellent service and the tradition of excellent service will continue long after I'm gone. But again, it's been a great journey, and I really appreciate the kind words. So happy holidays, and I wish you the best for many years to come.
Thank you, George. We wish you all the best. And I know that you're thought of so fondly here. I'm going to go over to the flag. I think my colleagues are going to join us, and we'll take a big congratulations and retirement picture.
Awesome. Thanks.
See, I remember this one time when he gave us the tour of the new floating top over at the reservoir. He sits there and admits that he actually lived there on site in a manufactured home, had his wife and at least one kid. I don't know if there were more than that. So they got to grow up around the reservoir and around all the water treatment facilities. It's that institutional memory that we're really going to miss, George. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Duffield.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first day I met George was after about an hour. It was very clear to me, who's going to take your place? I mean, you could tell this guy it was his passion. It was something that went well beyond the paycheck, and we were lucky enough to have him all these years working for us. And my thing is all this technology stuff. He and I kind of like that stuff. And he shows off all his fancy stuff, and it is right there. So our water treatment, our everything. It's not just water, by the way. He does a lot more. And all of those things that very few people care about, he has taken on with a vengeance to keep us at the front of technology and save costs and on and on and on. And it goes on well beyond just the hardware and the people and everything. He knows the history. Well, anyway, you know that you get what I'm talking about. We're very happy that he finally gets to maybe go do something that he'd like to do at home. So let's have him have a great future, and we're going to miss you, George. You're a great man. Thank you.
Councilwoman Dixon.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, we want to say, George, where are you sitting? There you are. I want to look at you when I speak. As a new council member 3 years ago, you were so kind and courteous and patient to take all of us through a learning journey on water in Newport Beach, just as the drought situation was beginning to hit our city. And having observed how you and your operation and your staff responded to our residents in our city to deal technologically with the drought restrictions, and also to help the city residents understand how they had to cut back and the problems they had with their billing. You always dealt with these matters in a very professional, patient, understanding, non-defensive way. You were the consummate professional, and we're really going to miss you. And as others are saying, the institutional memory you're walking out the door with, we are going to greatly miss. But thank you for your service and your dedication. And frankly, I don't think you will enjoy too much to do other than dealing with water issues. That's your life, unless you spend the rest of your life in Tahiti or something. But you are the ultimate water water expert, and we've been lucky to have you. Thank you very much for your service.
Councilman O'Neill.
So in a profession where you can't miss, you didn't. In a profession where you can't make mistakes, big ones, small ones, you didn't. That's a 37-year career of truly excellent service to your community and to the people around, and you've affected literally millions of people in that career. So congratulations, George. Godspeed. And then, of course, if you ever want to live next to the reservoir again, please let us know.
Councilman Avery.
I've said this before about George. I just think he represents the best of public service and a public servant. And for all of us residents, you know, we turn on that tap and it's been clean and perfect for a long time. And there's so much more to it, but protecting the water supply and making sure there's enough for everyone, and then riding herd through the droughts and giving us the information we need to try and take corrective action in terms of our use, preventing and dealing with pollution issues, line breakages, seawalls collapsing around homes and getting them pumped out, that kind of thing. The list goes on and on. And I just think George is a very important part, but we have so many great public servants working here. It's one of the biggest things I've realized since being on council, and George is certainly in the lead there. And it happens every day. And sometimes I feel like residents don't quite get that, and I don't blame them because they're not close to it. But as soon as you get up here, you see it full force, and George is right at the top of the list for delivering services, protecting residents all the way along. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Herdman.
George, I already made some comments, but I just want you to know, and the entire staff here in Newport Beach Civic Center, that one of the reasons I ran for city council was because I wanted the opportunity to work with you. And I have had that opportunity. George, in my first year being on council, no less than 3 times invited me and all council members, if they were interested, and several of them were, to 2 or 3 different facilities that he's responsible for, including the oil fields here in Newport Beach that are located on the Banning Ranch area. Excellent orientation to George's sphere of responsibility within the city. I was absolutely in awe of his knowledge. And they say that everybody's replaceable, but in this particular case, I'm not sure if that's true. But we certainly hope so. George, congratulations to you again. I speak personally, retirement is the absolute best, so enjoy it. All right? Thank you.
Thank you. Matters which council members have asked to be placed on future agenda. It's not matter for discussion. It's merely to see if 3 council members would like to discuss the matter at a future date. Do we have 3 council members who bring back an item proposed by Councilwoman Dixon? Consideration of a review and update of regulations on passenger charter vessels in Newport Harbor to address the size of vessels, parking, amplified noise, water quality, and the city's enforcement practices. And before I turn it over to raise our hands, I believe Mr. Harp has an announcement.
Just briefly, Mayor Pro Tem Duffield has recused himself based on his business interests.
All right, at this time, do we have 3 members indicating a desire to discuss this further?
Passes unanimously, 6-0.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Duffield may return.
Public comments on consent calendar. This is the time in which council members may pull items from the consent calendar for discussion. Those are items 1 through 4. Public comments are also invited on consent calendar items. Speakers must limit comments to 3 minutes. Before speaking, please state your name for the record. If any item is removed from the consent calendar by a council member, Members of the public are invited to speak on each item for up to 3 minutes per item. All matters listed under consent calendar are considered to be routine and will all be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. Council members have received detailed staff reports on each of the items recommending an action. There will be no separate discussion of these items prior to the time the City Council votes on the motion unless members of the City Council request specific items to be discussed and are removed from the consent calendar for separate action.
Thank you. Council, any items to pull from the consent calendar? Items 1 through 4. Mr. O'Neill?
None.
Mr. Piotr? None. Ms. Dixon? None. Mr. Herdman? None. Mr. Avery?
None.
Mayor Pro Tem Duffield? I have none as well. Mayor Duffield, do you have a motion?
I do. I move the balance of the consent calendar items 1 through 4.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Public comments on the consent calendar, please come forward.
Mayor Muldoon and members of the council, my name is Jim Mosier. I wanted to comment on item number 3, which is the repeal of the 2012 Banning Ranch approvals. As I indicated in writing, one of the items you will be repealing withdraws not a request to add development, but rather it's repealing a request to remove a road from our general plan running across Banning Ranch from 15th Street to Coast Highway. This morning, I checked the OCTA website, and I see that that road is still on the county plan. So it appears that our request never got to OCTA, and your repeal will essentially maintain the status quo. But I want you to know that there are some problems with the status quo, because looking at the current map on the OCTA website, I see that the county's master plan of arterial highways has definitely deleted the 19th Street Bridge across the Santa Ana River, but our current general plan map still shows that bridge in it. And conversely, at the same time, the county's map shows a road through Banning Ranch, not from 15th Street, but from 17th Street, connecting to that 15th Street extension, which is the subject tonight. And at some point, that's been deleted from our general plan, but it's in the county plan. So there clearly are inconsistencies between the two, even though I believe when we request grants from OCTA, we assure them that our two plans are consistent with each other. Next, I wanted to comment on item 4, the remaining item on your consent calendar, which is the Planning Commission action report, and it includes their decision last week on the 2607 Ocean Boulevard matter, which was an application for a residence on the lot adjacent to the top of the China Cove ramp. I submitted a written comment about that. I hope all of you will read the comment, and I hope at least one of you will see the need to have that Planning Commission decision called up for council review. Many of those who opposed the matter before the Planning Commission felt it was an example of big box mansionization, but I don't think that's the true issue or the one that needs council review. The real problem with this project is whether the city is committed to the promises we made to the world in our recently certified local coastal program and an earlier certified coastal land use plan to preserve and enhance all the public's views from and to the coast. This building, no matter how big or small it is clearly impeding those views, and it's not consistent with the promises we made. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Honorable Council. I'm Steve Ray, the Executive Director of the Banning Ranch Conservancy. First of all, on behalf of the Conservancy, we would like to thank and congratulate you, Mr. Mayor, and you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, on your year of service to the city. Thank you very much for that. Tonight, you are about to take the absolute final action on what was once the proposed Newport Banning Ranch project. And it's been a long time coming, and we're happy to see the action finally taken, and we appreciate you taking the action. And again, for the record, we would like to note that no member of this council had any role in the approval of that project. You're only here to do as the court has remanded for the city to do, to vacate all approvals. And last council meeting, you took the first action on it, and we came here to address you on that. And also here to address you was a spokesman for the developer. And I just want to address a couple of comments from that developer. One was that the project was 40 acres. And I would just like to clarify for the record that at no time was that project ever 40 acres. It was always much, much larger project than 40 acres. So when the statement was made, it was a little, might have been just a simple accidental statement in the fact that 40 acres is what the owners are telling prospective buyers as to what development footprint is available on site. Yes, the site is for sale, has been for almost this entire year. As a matter of fact, if you, I haven't done it for a few weeks, but if you used to go to Google and hold the cursor over Banning Ranch, it used to, a for sale sign used to pop up. So it's been for sale for a long time, and they have been promoting it as 40 acres of development. I can assure you and any potential buyer that there's no 40-acre development possible out there at all. There's no 30-acre development possible. There's no 20-acre development possible. So the hopes of a large development on Banning Ranch is history, along with the move you're about to take tonight. Second item is that when the developer's rep was here, he made mention of the fact that they are wanting to move forward and work with us at the Conservancy and with you to try to acquire or to do something on the property. Well, our goal is to acquire the property, and we came to ask you last week if you would work with us, to talk with us about that, about how we might cooperate together. We're still anxious to do that. We do have a pathway to acquisition of the property. We are moving forward with that. We do want to talk to you about that, and we look forward to conversing with you in the very near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Roy. Next speaker, please. Thank you.
Hello, Council. My name is Terry Welsh, and I am president of the Banning Ranch Conservancy. And before I get going, I just want to wish everyone a happy Hanukkah, and also to extend my thanks and appreciation to Mayor Muldoon and Mayor Pro Tem Duffy for your service. Maybe I just put some closing comments on this chapter of the Banning Ranch story. And my comments would be that as we move forward into the new year, it is our hope and expectation that the council will truly, as the general plan says, prioritize the acquisition of Banning Ranch as an open space amenity. And I can tell you that you, in doing this, you would have the full support, not just of the Banning Ranch Conservancy, but the larger Banning Ranch community. And we are here to help. We'd like to hear your ideas and share ours, but we really want to make this a team effort. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the dais. We have a motion and a second. Let's vote.
Prior to reading the vote, I'll read the ordinance title for item 3, ordinance number 2017-17, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Newport Beach repealing all approvals for the Newport Banning Ranch Planned Community Project. Council members Avery and Herdman, thank you. The motion carries unanimously 7-0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Public comments on non-agenda items. Public comments are invited on non-agenda items generally considered to be within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Speakers must limit comments to 3 minutes. Before speaking, please state your name for the record.
Are there any public comments on non-agenda items? Seeing none. All reports from City Council on committee activities. Mr. O'Neill.
None.
Mr. Piotr. Mrs. Dixon. None. Mr. Herdman. None. Mr. Avery.
None.
Mayor Pro Tem Duffield.
I have none.
And I have none as well. I believe we have a presentation for the main event this evening. Is Tim Whitacre present? Please feel free to approach the podium. Welcome. Yes, whichever you like.
There we go. Welcome, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council, staff, and residents of the City of Newport Beach. It's a pleasure to be here tonight on behalf of the Chairwoman of the Board of Supervisors, your Supervisor in the 2nd District, Michelle Steele. I'm here at her pleasure tonight, Mayor Muldoon, to recognize you. If I could ask you to come down, because I'm going to present something to you, and I'll make some remarks as you're doing that. She'd be here herself, but this week she's actually in Washington, D.C., helping make Orange County great again. And so at her request, she wants to make sure that I pass on to you, Mr. Mayor, that it has been a pleasure to work with you in this last year. Your time serving as mayor of this capable body of lady and gentlemen has been one of a what's the word? I'm sorry, I'm stuffed up here. Has been just, it's been a pleasure. You've done a great job. You've been very responsive on behalf of your residents. Actually, as everybody up here, as you know, I interact with you on her behalf all the time, and I want the residents to know, especially with your leadership, but your council, residents of Newport Beach, does a great job. This lady and these gentlemen, they all have different districts that they advocate for. They all have different issues, and they don't hesitate to call on us, and especially with yourself, as you know. And we've tackled some things, whether it's yourselves calling or you're having staff call. It's been a joy. She wants you to know that she knows it's going to continue as you step off to the side, and she can't thank you enough. So what she wants me to do here is make sure that you are receiving this. And this is in honor of your distinguished service to the residents of Newport Beach as their mayor for 2017. Your conscientious and dedicated service to the local community reflects great credit upon you and serves as an example for others to emulate. Dated this day, Michelle Steele, Chairwoman, Supervisor, 2nd District.
Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome. And then briefly, with remaining time, she wants me to pass on to the mayor, the city council, the staff, and the residents of Newport Beach. She hopes everyone has a very blessed Christmas, happy Hanukkah, safe New Year, and she just wishes everyone the best. God bless you guys.
Thank you, Tim. And please thank Supervisor Steele for the kind remark and for the recognition. I appreciate it. Now I believe we have a presentation from my potential replacement.
Yes, Mayor. I'm proud to give you this great gavel for all your hard work, and I've been very proud to work with you. You've been amazing, and congratulations. Thank you.
Okay. Beautiful, Duffy, and I may support you now.
Kind of wanted to hit you with it, but I won't.
Thank you. That's nice of you.
What are they? What else are they for?
Probably. In all seriousness, I'd like to offer a few thank yous. First, I'd like to thank my wife, Heather, for her love and support, my colleagues on council for placing their trust in me. I consider each of you a friend, at least most of you. To staff for your hard work, competence, and patience. Last but not least, the citizens of Newport Beach. It has been the honor of a lifetime to serve as your mayor. There are many highlights while serving as mayor, but this evening I'd like to share one particular experience that stands out. I was invited to speak to a class full of second graders at a local elementary school. It's the most fun I had as mayor, and the thank you letters containing the things each student liked most about the city of Newport Beach added to the specialness of the visit and the warmth of our town. One student wrote, "Thank you for everything you do to make everything possible." Another, "Thank you for the shops, malls, and PetSmarts. Thank you for keeping the library in business. Thank you for keeping the city safe. Thank you for making our city a better place. Thank you for creating the fun zone. You're welcome, Timmy. And my favorite, what I like best about Newport Beach is that we have freedom. We do have freedom. Our lives are made up of choices. Let's make the conscious decision to treat each other with love and respect. We're all neighbors, each living with struggles and pains that others may not be aware of. As we can sense from the words of thanks from children, there is a goodness in each of us that is worthy of kindness. This holiday season, I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. May you find peace in your hearts and share it with your neighbors. Thank you. The City Council will consider the annual mayoral appointment. Madam Clerk.
This is the time for the election of the mayor. All members of the City Council are on an equal basis to nominate and elect. Note that 7 mayor and 7 Mayor Pro Tem nameplates have been created for the reorganization process. The same procedure will also be followed for the selection of the Mayor Pro Tem. Nominations do not require a second. They are not debatable, cannot be amended or reconsidered, and a majority vote is required to elect. The motion to close nominations does require a second. It is not debatable, cannot be amended or reconsidered, and requires 2/3 vote. If there is more than one nomination, the voting will be done by paper ballot, and the results will be read at the conclusion of the balloting. If there is only one nomination, the voting will be done by oral vote. Nominations are now open. Do I hear any nominations?
Madam Clerk, I'd like to nominate Duffy Duffield.
Are there any other nominations?
Move to close nominations.
Second.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to provide public comment? Do any of the council members wish to have any discussions on the nomination? Now is the time. So all in favor for Councilmember Duffield serving as the next mayor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, Councilmember Duffield. You are now the mayor. Please take your seat at the center.
All right. Well, now it's time the City Council will consider the annual Mayor Pro Tem appointment. And nominations are now open.
Mr. Mayor?
Do I hear any nominations?
It would be my pleasure to nominate Will O'Neill as Mayor Pro Tem.
Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, we need a motion and a second to close nominations.
I move.
Does anyone in the audience wish
is
to
there a
provide-
second to close? I'm sorry, Mayor.
Oh, sorry.
Is there a second to close?
I'll close.
Thank you. Does anyone in the audience wish to provide public comment? Seeing none, all in favor of electing Will O'Neill as the Mayor Pro Tem, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none,
Congratulations,
Welcome.
Council. Mayor Pro Tem
Congratulations.
O'Neill.
I'm your new mate. This right on. Yeah.
All right, we will now select seats at the dais pursuant to City Council Policy A1. And we start with Councilwoman Dixon.
I like my current seat. I will remain in this position. Thank you.
Okay. And you know where I'm sitting. So, Next is, well, we know Muldoon.
Present.
You're there. And Piotr? I'm good. Councilman O'Neill, we know where you're sitting. Councilman Avery? And
Nice down here.
all right. And Councilman Herdman?
I'm fine where I am.
Thank you. Okay. Well, here we go. It's quite something that I never expected. Well, here we go. First of all, I want to thank you. I want to say thank you to the number one person in my life. Obviously, that's Terry, my wife since high school. It's not my wife since high school, but it seems like that. I don't know how she puts up with me. I do recall when I brought this up, I got from my family, who also includes Kelly and Tyler and Travis and Chase, her husband, Kelly's husband, Chase, and Bree, who's married to Tyler, and Travis, as we're hoping to hook up with someone, said, "No way, Dad, you're not going to be on the city council." So that was my start. But before I get any further, I want to take a second and just tell you how proud I am of Kevin Muldoon. And when we first were working together to get elected during our campaign, you know, he was so young. Now he looks older, but 3 years he's aged. But it's just for someone his age, he's so sage and wise and very professional and a lot of integrity. And he got a lot of good things done. I'm not sure that's going to be the case with me. I'm not going to be as professional. I'm not going to be as sage. I'm going to be Duffy, and that's sadly who you get. So don't think I'm going to be able to be such a great speaker as our former mayor. I also want to, of course, thank my council members and all of you out there who've come and are here tonight. I do want to start with transparency in my year, and it all starts. I have this idea where I thought I'd bring some technology to the dais, and this phone here is my direct line to my puppet master and Newport team boss, Bob McCaffrey. So this phone will be, no one will have to be wondering what he's doing to us. It'll just ring, and oh, wait a second, he's calling now. Hello, Bob.
Hi, Duffy.
Is that you?
It is, with a red jacket out in front of you.
Well, is there something you want me to do or say or vote for?
There is. I want you to be quiet.
Okay, I can do that.
This is a little gag between Duffy and I. There are people in this town who think I'm a puppet master, and I control all the strings like the Godfather. Well, I've never asked any of you members to vote in any way. My job, I think, is to put good conservative people who watch their money much better than past city councils. So I would suggest to the Swains and the Skinner group, ask any of the council members, anytime, any place, if I ever ask them to vote in one way or the other.
Okay,
now,
we got it. We got it. I think this is too hard. Technology is not working for me, but I think we made the point. Thank you, Bob. Okay, hurry.
I did put a lot of pressure on public works to put in a water fountain.
All right, we got the water fountain. That's true. That's very true. I would admit that. Now, since there are more people that need to be totally clear of mind, this is a phone for Dave Ellis. Dave can call me anytime. We have another phone here for Susan Skinner. She can call me anytime, and her mother and father, and mom and dad, they can call me. These phones are here. Every time I'll be here, they'll be right here. And then we'll all know what's going on. And lastly, the FPPC that seems to want me to recuse on just about everything. So I'll have a direct line to them in case they want me to remove myself and go eat some more food in the enclosed area. Okay. So we've got that behind us. City's in good shape. City's in great shape. And the status quo has a lot of momentum at this point. We're going to be careful, obviously, with pensions and expenses. And we have great committees and commissions, especially on our finance team. We have 3 council people on there. We have Diane, Will, and Kevin, and they're doing a bang-up job. And this is really the heartbeat of our city, all of our expenses. And this is kind of how we ran on our campaign, is to trying to keep those things in check. And of course, my appointee, Bill Calpe, is the smartest guy in Newport Beach, and he represents me, and he's doing a great job, as well as the director and everyone else. My goals are to manage the harbor. Obviously, that's my bailiwick is close, dear to my heart, is the harbor. And basically, run through this really fast, because you didn't come here to listen to me pontificate on the harbor, but 1 harbor department. And we're going to start enforcing our codes. We're going to promote and encourage the use of our harbor with our patrol ambassadors that we've had out all summer. We're going to update our aging and out-of-date fleet of vessels. Our surf rescue lifeguard boat will no longer have props. It will be a jet-driven, so it can rescue people without hurting them, things like that. Low-wake and efficient patrol boats. This is probably boring you people that don't know about the harbor boats, but this is what I believe is the backbone of our city. And a new fireboat run by our fire and lifeguard department. So the other thing that this all ties in with is water quality and beach replenishment. You know, sadly, we didn't finish dredging the bay. We were led to believe it was finished, but that's another story. At the end of the day, there's still almost 1 million cubic yards that needs to be removed. And this all has to do with water flow and water quality, and is directly related to that. So my deal this year is hopefully to continue the march to finish that dredging, to get the harbor dug deeper, which will encourage our tidal flow, circulation. And one dream of mine is to connect a pipe at the top of our bay by Marina Park out to the ocean under Balboa Boulevard and use it to replenish our beach as we dredge, and then when it's not being used for that, to increase the circulation of water. So if the harbor, instead of just had 1 entrance, it actually had 2, it would go a long ways in increasing that, our water quality. And I also came up with something I really feel is important. A lot of in the building and planning department, we have, obviously they do a great job, but at the end of the day, once a project has been scrutinized and finally gets off hold on, is somebody calling me? No, that was Susan calling me. When you have a project that actually gets built, I want there to be a report card that we can develop that demands that we go back to that property, we look at the project, did it really do what we all wanted it to do? It was zoned for X, is it really doing X? And if had we done this on the harbor, our harbor would be in a lot better shape in terms of public access and the things it needs to support boating. And we have sadly lost a lot of our waterfront, i.e. the Rhine Channel, to condos. And hopefully we can do something to stop that. But to have a report card for all projects, not just on the bay, does the project flourish? Is it doing what it was supposed to, intended to do? And I think that's something that we lack now. So, in conclusion, I just want to say thank you again. I look forward to a great year, and I told you I wouldn't bore you and make a long speech, so that's the end of my little comment. Thank you very much. Okay, Madam Clerk.
A motion to reconsider the vote on any action taken by the City Council at either this meeting or the previous meeting may be made only by one of the council members who voted with the prevailing side.
Are there any motions for reconsideration? I have one. Seeing no others. I would like to reconsider the issue of banners that were for Hoag Hospital that they went out and on the consent calendar and asked for permission for, to extend that as long as we can, which is within reason, if that's something we can reconsider. I'm sorry, the Hoag Hospital Toshiba event.
I'll second that.
All right. Then do we need to vote on that, or do we just? Oh, okay. All right. I need to go out to public comment on that issue, please. Anyone wish to speak on that issue?
Mayor Duffield and members of the council, my name is Jim Mosier. I'm wondering if you could clarify whether your understanding of the motion to reconsider is you're actually changing your vote tonight, or you're just putting it on a future agenda for a new vote on it, because the members of the public who may be interested in the issue had no idea it was coming up tonight. And it would seem much more logical that your action tonight is to put it on a future agenda for reconsideration. Thank you.
It would be to put it on for a future agenda.
So we were going to have staff look at that and see what the possibilities are. That's pretty much it. There may be others that have already reserved the time on the polls, so that was needed to be looked into. Okay. I guess we are.
We need to vote.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's new at this. Please vote for the reconsideration.
Motion carries unanimously, 7-0.
Okay, thank you very much. We are adjourned.